Committee to meeting to order. On roll call, Mr. Cassidy,
Present.
Mr. Podak,
Here.
and myself. All committee members are present. We need to approve the digital minutes of the last two meetings, and I think that we need to do these separately. And the reason being is that we need to approve the May 19th meeting, and only Mr. Podak and myself were in attendance at that one. And then we'll need a second motion for the June 16th when Mr. Cassidy and myself were in attendance. So I would ask for a motion to approve the Finance Committee meeting of May 19th.
I approve. I move.
All right, and I will second. And on roll call, Mr. Podak
Yes.
and myself and Mr. Cassidy. Okay, and then a second motion for the June 16th.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cassidy, and I will second. On roll call, Mr. Cassidy,
Yes.
myself, and Mr. Podak.
Abstain.
Okay, both the May 19th and the June 16th Finance Committee meeting minutes have been approved. Reports. Finance Director?
Thank you. Go through a few updates here on a few items before we get into the June financials. General audit is still progressing. We're working through the final questions and requests at this time, so no real issues to report. The tax budget update, the 2027 tentative tax budget was passed at the 7/7/26 council meeting and has been timely filed with the Seneca County auditor, so we're good there. Tonight we'll have a first reading for legislation to place the renewal of the existing 6 mil property tax levy on the November 2026 ballot. This is the next step to have that placed on the ballot in November of 26. It's a 5-year renewal beginning in tax year 2027 to be collected in tax years 2028 through 2032. I will ask that we waive the 3 readings on that. This is to meet the statutory deadlines for it to get on the November 2026 ballot. We'd like to get it placed on that renewal ballot here this year to provide the city with the best opportunity to get the voter approval before that existing levy expires at the end of next year. It'll also give us a little breathing room. If it's not successful this year, we'll still have opportunities next year to get it on the ballot. That renewal levy would generate around $1 million, and it's around 8% of the general fund revenue. So it is vital. It's very important for our ongoing financial recovery plan, especially as we are in the beginning stages of working toward exiting fiscal emergency with the auditor of the state. I have one other piece of legislation tonight, future appropriations for part-time staff in the Urban Community Forest Grant Fund. We'll also ask to waive the 3 readings for that. This is for part-time seasonal staff to help water the trees, a lot of the newly planted trees, and also any maintenance that needs to be part of it. This is reimbursable from the American Forest Grant, so really we just have to front the money, so we're just appropriating some money there for dollars that we'll get reimbursed for through a grant. Any questions on any of those updates?
I do have a comment. Pursuant to the levy, it's vital to this community that levy continues. It does not create any additional money from anybody. It's been renewed previously. It's essential for 2 reasons. Financially, we need the funds from that levy to maintain the safety forces and the operation of the city. And second of all, it's one of the elements in getting out of financial emergency. It's one of the elements that once we get out of financial emergency, that we will stay out of financial emergency. And I've been an advocate ever since I've been on council to get get out of this financial emergency as quick as we can. We haven't gotten it done near as fast as I thought we could or we should initially. But we went through the process the right way, and we have got the city poised to stay out of financial emergency. So that's all I have.
Okay, we'll go over the June financials here. Everything overall looks pretty good. All the main fund balances are in healthy positions. Revenue expenses are both tracking near forecasts. So I'll just run through highlights on some of the reports that circulated. On the bank report, the city has a total of $25,211,214 in various bank and investment accounts at the end of June. Slightly up, but very similar to May. 15 million of that is in checking and money market accounts, very liquid accounts for operating expenses, and the 12 million in capital projects that we have budgeted yet to here in 2026. On the fund report, the general fund balance is at $12,493,232. Of that, there's 10.4 million is unencumbered, bearing in mind that we don't encumber for payroll and benefits, so that's going to take up a large portion of that. On page 5 of the fund report, the water fund is at $3,474,311. Of that, there's 2.6 unencumbered. The sewer fund is at $3,142,406. Of that, $2.1 is unencumbered. On to the revenue reports. So we're halfway through the year, so revenues should be around 50% of what we've collected so far versus what we estimated we would. Again, the reports are comparison reports. They're showing where we stood at the same period of time for the last 2 years, so for 25 and 24, just as a comparison. Real estate taxes, which is one of the big portions of our revenue budget, they're at 61% collected versus estimated. Again, same message here as it has been the last few months. This is common to be ahead. There are a number of people or businesses that pay for the full year's real estate taxes on the first year's invoices that go out. So it's not uncommon to be a little ahead there. Income tax is at 53% collected versus estimated, so slightly ahead of pace there. It had been a little behind for the first 4 months or so the last couple months have kind of righted the ship there and got us just a little bit ahead of the game. On that, I have a little more information on we voted to have Rita send out delinquency letters and then administrative subpoenas as a second reminder to people who haven't filed that needed to. Those first round of letters are going to go out in September, and then the second letters are going to go out in November. We got feedback from Rita on when those are going to go out, and it was based on their time frame and in the order of the communities that elected to have those letters go out. So that should help keep us on track. On page 9, the water revenue is just a touch under pace. It's at 48% collected versus estimated. It's been tracking there a little bit here lately, so we're going to keep an eye on that going forward. It's not too far off, but is a little under. On page 10, the sewer revenue is right on pace at 50% collected versus estimated. And the leachate is at 193, almost 200% collected versus estimated, which means we've almost doubled it, so above pace. That might ease up here a little bit, especially as we don't get as much rain. That's important because if we do well there, it it'll help us to be able to ease any rate increases that we might need. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
Can I ask you to state again the date or when those RETA reminder letters are going out?
Yeah, the first round, the delinquency letters are going out in September,
September.
and the administrative subpoenas, which anybody that doesn't follow up on the first letter, they'll go out in November. So there's about I think a 6-week spread there to give people a chance to get caught up or get a hold of Rita to work things out.
Damon, on the revenue report, I saw on account 410-117, the hotel motel tax. We budgeted or anticipated about 5,000 and we're almost at 14,000. Is there some reason to jump like that or?
Yeah, one of the main motels in town was behind, and they got caught up a couple months ago. So that's over a year's worth of catch up there. And if we were to look back at prior reports, we probably were a little under last year, and maybe even the end of 24. So we got caught up there.
277% increase just kind of jumped out there.
Yeah. It'd be nice if that was on the income tax line where it's a lot bigger number, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
And David, you and I talked about how income tax was trending behind, and then here we get halfway through the year and it jumped ahead. And you had explained something to me that I did not know. So I wondered if you would share that with the committee, how that Rita does that true up.
Yeah, so every month, twice a month, we get a deposit from Rita for the income taxes that they collect on our behalf. They withhold a percentage of that to cover their costs. It's an estimate. So once they get through their year and close their books, then they will look and say they're a nonprofit, so they're not going to make anything extra. So they'll look at all their costs and then they'll reallocate it to all the cities, villages, and communities that they do business with, and they issue refunds for anything that they overcharged for. So I believe we got that in May, which is the month that we kind of righted the ship there. So we were a little bit behind and we got that back. It kind of trued us up to what we should have received during the year. So that's not uncommon for us to get caught up in the second quarter of the year.
One other observation I would make is when we look at the expense report, when I look at that, the percent spent, we're looking for 50%, but we're really not going to have 50% there. It's only at 33, and I was questioning why are we so far off the mark? But we have all these capital projects going. I think you said earlier we have 12 million in capital projects going this year. A lot of those are going to be in process and they haven't been expended yet. So that's going to throw our expenditures off. We wouldn't be seeing that 50%
Yeah,
threshold there.
it doesn't always line up for timing purposes on some of those things, but yep, we're in the season of projects now,
Yep.
so that should start to.
Yeah. But anybody looking at that might question, and that's helpful to recall that information, the number of projects we have going this year.
Yep.
Anything else, Mr. Smith?
I don't have anything else to report.
Okay. Turned over to the mayor.
I have nothing to report except that I would like to reiterate what Councilman Cassidy said about the tax levy. It's very important to the city, and it is not a new tax, and it is not an increase in tax. It's just a renewal of the current tax.
Thank you. And no safety service director this evening, so committee members. Anything to share?
I think it's, I didn't look back, but I did look up the $12 million in projects that we have on the books yet for this year. But I think looking back 2 or 3 years, we come nowhere close to that, to spending that kind of money. We didn't have that kind of money. A lot of it's due to tightening our belt, as well as some definitely large interest gains on investments that we've had in both the general fund and all the other funds. So I'm looking forward to this work getting done, and I'm sure a lot of it's paving, and it's going to improve the city quite a bit.
Yes, and the other item would be the number of grants we've received this year. We've received a couple of very large grants, and you're seeing the effect of that this year as well.
Thank you. I have nothing to add this meeting, believe it or not. Okay. Anything else from either of you before we look to the public? Okay, this time we'll ask if there's anyone from the public that would like to speak on finance-related items.
I just have a comment to make about what Councilman Cassidy said and what the mayor said. If I've got this right, you guys are talking about the property tax, not the city income tax.
Correct.
Because I need to make it understood so that when it goes out there on YouTube, everybody understands it. And that's what I got from it. So did I get that right? So it's the renewal of the property tax levy. Okay, that's it.
Thanks, Deborah.
Hello, I'm going to say again about the property tax. Yes, people tend to listen to me. We need to continue it. It's not changing anything. The only issue I have is that we've known for over a year that we need to be putting it on the ballot. So why are we doing it as an emergency read? That is my only negative comment. That I find that insufficient of not being proactive. That's a lot of times what's been happening lately, and that's why we end up with these emergency reads. But again, it's not changing anything. So anybody who's concerned about it, we need it to continue on. So by all means, do your own research. But at the same time, if it's not effectuating anything and we do need it to keep it in our coffers, it really is a non-issue. You should go ahead and vote yes for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the community? No? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second,
No, and roll call, Mr. Cassidy,
yes.
Mr. Podak,
Yes.
and myself. We are adjourned at 5:49.